Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of Mastering Church Photography, where we dive deep into what it takes to capture the best photos possible at your church. Today we have here a POV that I recorded at my church a few weekends ago, and I just wanted to take you guys along with me and just share with you what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, and just my whole process and what I do when I capture a sermon photo. One of the main things that I want you to take away from this video before we get technical is that when you're taking sermon photos, the best moments aren't going to be random. They're going to be predictable if you know what to look for. The strongest photos, in my opinion, are always going to be the ones captured when the pastor either gets on stage, is telling a story, or uses a prop. For example, you see me here waiting for the pastor to walk up because I'm aware that this is the last song before the sermon, and when he comes out, he's going to be smiling, he's going to be encouraging the congregation, and just praising God, so I know I'm going to get a good photo. So just know your pastor and be ready when any of these things take place. Once the pastor's on stage, listen to what he's saying. Instead of spraying my shutter and hoping that I land something good, I like to listen intentionally, and I just take my photos at the end of sentences or phrases. This is where the pastor's mouth won't be moving as much. These moments are where you will catch the pastor smiling or just in a flattering neutral face expression. If you hunt for these moments, it'll save you a huge amount of time when you're selecting and editing photos. As you'll see me do throughout the video, don't just stay in one spot, move around and capture a variety of angles. This helps you not be so distracting to the people around you, and it just helps you capture different angles. Variety is good, especially if your church repurposes sermon photos for thumbnails, graphics, social media, websites, etc. If your camera shutter is loud, there's really not much you can do about it. The only thing I would say is, just try not to stay in one spot for a long time, because it could be distracting. So if you're in one spot and you took a few photos and you're not happy with what you got, just switch over to maybe the other side of the worship center, and just kind of rotate around the areas of what your space looks like, so that you're not bothering the same people while trying to capture a photo. When you're taking photos, be sure to have people in the foreground to frame the pastor. This makes your photos more interesting by adding a level of depth, as if you are there sitting with the congregation. This also helps frame the pastor between people's heads to intensify the focus on the pastor. Something that I've noticed over the years of just taking photos is the better I get, the less photos I take. And it's just because I just learned to time things better. And when you know what you're looking for, you don't need to take as many photos. And that's something that I would encourage you with as you're taking photos, is try not to take an abundance of photos. Try to really listen and be locked in with the pastor, so that when you take photos, it's like you know when your pastor's gonna be smiling. You know when he's asking a question to the congregation that's making everybody think, that's most likely he's gonna have a good neutral facial expression in that moment. Or when he's using a prop, like it's gonna be, those are gonna be good photos when your pastor does that. So just know your pastor, know their tendencies, and you're gonna capture great images every single Sunday morning. When you're shooting a wider shot of the worship center or just the room that you're in, try to avoid empty seats whenever possible. I try not to get empty seats in my photos because they just pull emotion out of the image, and it makes the moment feel smaller than what it really was. But if I do capture an image where you do see empty seats, I just crop in and get the empty seats out of there. And when you're taking these photos, don't forget the congregation. Capture people listening, taking notes, and reading their Bibles. These shots help tell the full story, and it just says that people weren't just present, they were also engaged. And yeah, as you see me here, I feel like I'm pretty much done. I feel like I got everything that I needed. And really, by the end of it, it really shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to capture your sermon photos. So yeah, you'll see, the moment you become more intentional with your sermon photos, they're going to be much easier to take. It's not going to take you as long, and they're going to improve drastically. If you enjoyed this POV style video, let me know. I would love to do more of these. Really, my heart in doing these videos is to serve creatives in church. If you're a believer, we can attest that we've tasted and we've seen that God is good. But there's people that haven't. And really, that's what this is all about. It's making God look beautiful and excellent, and making people see him for what he really is. If you relate to that and you feel like that's your mission as well, I'm glad you're here. We're all getting better together, and you never stop growing. And so if you want to check out part 1 of this series, I'll link it in the description. But yeah, I hope this inspires you, and go out and create something beautiful and give God all the glory for it.